in a company that is established in 2003 in the city of Osijek in Croatia, and we have specialized ourselves in two main business fields. One is measurement, that is Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, and everything connected to measuring things on the web. And the other activity we have is pay-per-click, either on Facebook or Google or some other platforms. Pay-per-click is very interesting way of advertising your business, because you're showing yourself in front of the user if you have adjusted the campaigns correctly whenever he wants to see you, not just pushing your message when it's unwanted, but showing yourself when somebody is searching for you, looking for you, want to do some interaction with you, some business with you. Escape as a company has a lot of rewards. Last year we won two of the biggest at conferences, the biggest rewards in our industry for analytics and for AdWords. One was at Super Week, a conference dedicated to Google Analytics, and the other one was in Bologna, the conference dedicated to Google AdWords. Who am I? I'm probably the oldest guy in the industry. If not the oldest, I think I'm the only grandfather in the industry that has this Google badge of being a Google certified trainer for years now, and that is only a proof that I have made all the mistakes so far that you may be not even aware of, and corrected them, of course. Luckily for me and for my clients, we learned very fast, because we have measured the feedback. We learned very fast that we are on a bad track and corrected this. Everything that we have done. Some industry leaders like Brad Geddes, Frederick Wallace, Avinash Kaushik, when they listen to things that we have done, they are just sometimes surprised, and they they have this nice expression in English that is actually meaning you are completely out of the box. You're making such stupidities that nobody ever has done. But in English you say it's very easy. Thanks for the creativity, like Avinash has pointed that out. So what will I talk about? I'll talk about Google Ads for beginners in this session, in this slot, because a lot of advertisers that I had so far in my career have the same problem. They don't understand that preparation is the biggest part of our tasks, the biggest chunk of our business, and the preparation is something they usually miss out. So I will help you maybe after this presentation to prepare yourself to better understand your user. Who is your user? That is very important to know. Usually when I ask people who is your user, they know exactly who is their customer. And that's a small chunk of all the possibilities, all the possible buyers, consumers, customers, whatever. They know exactly a small chunk of people that already had some interaction with them. But what's going on with the other people that would buy or would use your service or product, but you don't know about them because they never interact with you. And I hope I will try to help you to understand why you didn't interact with all the others that are also possibly good customers in the future. So the question actually I would start my presentation is who is our user? Who is our customer? Who is the guy or the girl or the person that would like to do anything with us? So let's check about the behavior of people on the internet as a result of mobile devices, internet, and whatever. So the first thing that is very interesting, maybe for everyone, is they asked young people, teenagers, your future customers. They asked them, what will happen if I take this away from you? You will die. What is the thing that without that your life is pointless, meaningless. That is a basic human need, and without that you will drop dead. And surprisingly for the researchers was that about 1% of the answers from the poll was food. Take away food, I will die. About 4% added water, and about 5% air. Roughly 10% of all the participants had basic human needs, as my generation was educated that these are the basic human needs: food, water, air. 90% of the people in the poll answered, if you take away internet, my life is pointless. I will drop that. Tomorrow I'm finished. 90% of people think that their life is actually without internet not the life they are used to, and it's pointless to continue. And that this is a very, very nice result from the research. All my data that I show you has a small link at the bottom of the slide. If you check here, here is the link where I took this research results, and if anyone wants to know more, just click on the link and check out whatever is additional for your business interesting. The presentations will be available. Just ask the organizers to send them to you. Another very important thing why internet and especially internet advertising is in such a demand and such an explosion of demand is actually something that is stated by Lord Kelvin at the beginning of this century. It's a very easy saying. If you cannot measure it, then you cannot improve it. And we can measure a lot on when people are online. We can measure a lot of their behavior and use this behavior data to adjust our campaigns to have better results, more efficient, and whatever the KPIs are, we can push our investment, our efforts, and our messages towards the KPIs that are actually interesting for the customer, for the client. Only because we can measure it. Because when you measure it, you can improve things, and that's very important. The next slide I used just to explain that people are all the time, everywhere, on the internet. It's amazing. This slide is an analysis what has been done in 1 minute during 2019. People searched for about 5 million search terms. People had a lot of interaction with the social network, with their friends, with everybody. You can see this very nice infographic that actually during 1 minute there are millions of interactions by the user with other users or with companies or in general with something on the internet. And that's very important to know, because if people are online, if your market is online, then maybe your efforts should be also online. What has changed very, very drastically is that reach and attention switched the positions. When I was a young boy, my father bought the first color TV. And all the neighborhood, all people in the street living near us came to see this new wonder of the technique, this new invention, this new extraordinary achievement of mankind. And this was a TV set that showed pictures in colors. It was very interesting, and it was usually like on the picture on the left, people, whole families were sitting in front of their TV sets, very, very concentrated on the content that was delivered to them. Nowadays we have a completely different situation. We have a lot of people that we can reach with our devices, with our messages, but everybody has his own device and consumes his own content, and therefore it's much harder today to approach to people than it was some 50, 30, maybe even 20 years ago. The another change that happened among internet users, people were always curious and demanding and impatient, but with the internet it became even stronger. People are even more impatient, even more demanding, even more curious. They use their mobile devices everywhere for everything, to finding out the best restaurant near me. Even when I in 20 years ago, you would ask someone where is the best restaurant here and there. Now you are not asking anyone; you're just checking your mobile phone, some reviews on the internet, some stars, whatever, on Face, or sometimes people even ask on Twitter, "Hey, I'm here. What would you recommend?" And a lot of people are recommending something that they think is the best for the person that asked the question. So this kind of behavior, this reach that we have, this impatience that we have, that people are very used to be online, has of course some consequences. One of them is that about 60% of people in Spain and in Italy don't care about borders anymore. They buy goods and services across the border. Even more people in Scandinavia, almost 80% of people in Scandinavia are buying things cross border. They don't even care about borders. And what is very interesting is that when they made a poll, they asked people, about 80% of people doesn't care anymore where is something available. They expect it's everywhere available. Whenever they go, wherever they go, whenever they are interested in something that they are searching for, should be available. 80% of internet users expect that your offer is there for them when they are interested in. COVID has also a nice impact on people's behavior. Year over year, about 100% rose the search term that has near me in the search query. So restaurants near me, bakeries near me, whatever, but it has to be near me, and about 3,000 times increased the search queries that had curbside pickup. So people don't want to go to stores anymore. They just want to drive with their car somewhere. We are becoming a big make drive civilization in a way. People are just coming to a location with a car and expect that the goods will be delivered to the car. And the purchase process is finished somewhere else before they even went with the car anywhere. So we have some drastic changes, and what is for me especially interesting is nothing below best is good enough. People are searching for the best, even when purchasing the most the cheapest products, the most available products. They only want the best of this product. So for example, in 2 years, three times the increase of best travel pillow was measured by Google, and that's not even so interesting. Like this one, 4 times increased the search for best kitchen salt. When people are buying salt, they expect to buy the best one. And salt, as I learned the other day, is about €1 per kilo. So even buying a very cheap product, we are only interested in the best, in the best of the best. What is also a consequence of this online living that we are practicing now is that we are during a day more online than we sleep. We are more spending more time searching and having some online activity than sleeping. And it has also changed, has a big impact in our behavior change. What is the consequence of everything that I mentioned is actually that our mobile devices are not devices anymore, they are our personal assistants. We use them for everything. What time is it, what weather will be, where is the restaurant, where can I purchase this or that, the directions, whatever, name it. You are using your mobile devices for all kind of activities that usually are not a part of a mobile communication device. Usually this is a part of a personal assistant support. So your mobile device became in a way your mobile assistant. When measuring people during some activities, it was very interesting for the researchers that they saw that 80% of people are using their mobile device during watching television programs. So whenever at the television program the advertising block became started, people changed their input screen. They just changed from the television screen to their mobile screen. Everybody is oh, not everybody, more than 80% of people is changing the input screen when the content that is delivered on one screen is not interesting enough or attractive enough. So I change just the screen and use my mobile phone to do anything what I'm more interested in during that moment. Of course, we are using mobile devices parallel with all the other screens, with laptops, with desktop computers, with television sets, whatever. Whatever we do on one screen, the other screen is always near us. There was a research in the United States where people said about 90% of people said that their mobile device never leaves their sight, day or night. So people are sleeping with their mobile device not far more distant than half a meter or a meter. You have internet all the time. All the knowledge that is on the internet, and practically is the knowledge of the human race, is there for you in any possible moment you can imagine. There are two very special activities on internet where users are very dedicated. One of them is when they plan their holidays, their travel. When they plan their trip, their holidays, their vacations, whatever, they are usually, an average person has usually more than 850 touch points with the either with the location where they want to go, either with some service information. Is there a repair shop for cars? Is there somebody that will take care of my dog? Whatever. About 3 months is the duration of planning a trip or a holiday, and during these 3 months an average person has about 850 touch points in planning and making a decision with their plans about the holidays. Only more intensive are people during the process of purchasing a car. Purchasing a car is about 900 touch points, and the second one is travel. It's about 850 touch points. It's very interesting. What does this mean for you? It means that it's not enough to show your message once, because the average person will reach out for you maybe 800 times. So you have to be there most of the time. Why you should be there is explained on the next slide. Because there is not a mental model. People have a nice ability to simplify very difficult tasks to make some mental models. And one of this mental model is the purchase funnel, the sales funnel. You have the upper, mid, and low low part of the audience, but in real life, people are not behave like that. People are chaotic. People are going around and around. They use a lot of different sources in their purchase process before they actually purchase a service or a product. On the right side, you can see a very interesting example. This was the path, the purchase path of a person. I don't know who the person is, but I know that the result of this purchase path was one purchase. So to make one purchase, person did visit the site, clicked on ads, checked on social, checked the email, had a lot of interactions before only one purchase. And that is the normal behavior. Therefore, in the United States, on average, a marketer uses 13 channels to be there for the possible buyer, to show them the offering. In Croatia, we are a little bit more modest. We use about a little bit over 3 channels. A little bit, the average advertiser, but most of them use only one channel. Either it's radio, either it's social, either it's magazines. It's not for the smallest advertiser. It's not a marketing activity that is divided on more channels. It's usually on 1, 2, or 3 channels, and that's the most. The problem we have also is that our average user is exposed daily to 6 to 10,000. It depends from the source. 6 to 10,000 advertising messages daily. So when you walk down the street, you see a lot of advertising messages, and we have developed this behavior, this kind of disregarding advertising edge. We have this advertising blindness, banner blindness. We don't see, we cannot remember. It's maybe we have seen it, but we don't remember that we see an advertising message. This great exposure is partly the result of marketeers that want to be near their possible customer anytime and everywhere. And maybe it's not the best approach, because the consequences, we are overwhelming people, over messaging them with sales messages. An old investigation, it was made, the research was done during the telephone sales. Maybe you had this experience that somebody calls you, hello, good afternoon, I can offer you a free dinner or whatever. And the researchers had made a nice research about the behavior of phone call sales, cold calling sales, and actual results. And this diagram should be read like this: about during the period of the research, about 48 of all the companies in the research called the user only once and made 2% of all the sales during this period. Then about one quarter of the companies, 24%, called the second time, and they made about 3% of all the purchases during this period. The last group of companies, it was about 10% of companies that were very persistent, that called you 5 or more times. They made 80% of all the sales. And then the researchers were surprised. Why are you rejecting me a lot of times, and then suddenly you are willing to do any kind of interaction or business with me? And they find out that about 95% of normal people, not normal mentally, but normal in a mathematical sense, people in the bell curve, about 95% of bell curve area is made by people that expect you to approach them 5 to 15 times. 5 to 15. So it's not enough to send your message once. You have to approach the same user 5 to 15 times if you want to have a sales success. I'm not an anthropologist, I'm not a sociologist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm an engineer. And as an engineer, I understood the result of this research as follows. Somewhere back, generations back, maybe some 200,000 or 300,000 years back in history, one of your grandmothers decided not to be, not to have an easy interaction with any males. The male has to show his persistence, he has to show his dedication, because what will happen if I get pregnant, who will take care about me and my child, or what will happen if I'm sick? And if you show that you are very persistent and willing to take care about the woman and the child that is the result of your attacks of getting scored, was that females decided not to have interaction with guys that are not persistent enough, that cannot, with guys that cannot prove that they really care about the woman and the possible child. So therefore, we have reflected this kind of decision making to all our activities. It's completely normal if you have a child and ask him 5 times to do something, especially if it's not something that the child wants to do. If I have 4 children and I know that it never happened that I told them, can you put the dishes in the dishwasher? It was usually after the 5th or 6th or 10th time, never mind. But it was rarely or never on the first glance. So that's also something that you have to take in account when you're trying to sell something to your users. And then there is this new trouble you have. The trouble is called mobile devices and mobile site upload delay. What is happening when people are standing in a store in a line? They have some higher levels of cortisol. Cortisol is a kind of a brain hormone that is raising your adrenaline level, so you are more nervous, more ready to fight and to be upset in a way. But standing in a line in a store is not such a big impact to you as watching a melodramatic TV series. If somebody is loving someone or whatever, standing on the edge of a cliff is a very high level of cortisol for you and for all the other people watching you at the edge of the cliff. Watch me, I will fall, I will not fall. And then the one of the highest level is waiting mobile site delays. You know, when it's reading, updating, or whatever, you're nervous. You're very, very, very nervous. Therefore, I would strongly suggest that all the people that are offering anything on the market first check their mobile sites and the mobile site speeds. There are a lot of tools available, just to avoid this negative first impression that a person could have because of mobile site upload delays. And the hardest problem in your life is probably solving difficult mathematical problems. That is the highest stress level that you have in life. But mobile site delays are very, very close to solving mathematical problems. And knowing all of this that I have presented, what should we do? How can we put ourselves in front of our user, in front of our customer, to overcome all these problems of data exposure, of advertising frequency, of impatience, of demand, of whatever? Well, first of all, we should become more focused. What is more focused? Usually, when you visit websites, you have something like on this left side a lot of possible options, a lot of products, a lot of options, a lot of very different things, and usually I came just to purchase this very easy and very problem solving product, and you are offering me such a great number of options that I am the victim of a phenomenon that was very well researched. This is the phenomenon of paralysis by analysis. Or if you have too many options, if you have too many products you could choose from, you will probably buy nothing. Because you will be paralyzed by the options, paralyzed by your expectations. Because as more options you have, higher are your expectations, and higher is the fear that you will disappoint yourself by purchasing one, not the other one, and therefore you are not purchasing anything. You have this decision paralysis. It's hard for you to decide what to buy if there are too many options that somebody is offering to you. And it's really like this sometimes when I go to a website, want to buy something, want to buy a product. I see that there are millions of options that I can combine, and actually I don't buy anything. I just go somewhere, ask people, hey, I need this, can somebody offer me the best solution? And when they tell me this is probably the best for you, I buy this product. I'm not buying on the site that is over offering options for me. It's not healthy for me if I have too many options. The second thing is that I have learned so far is a lot of advertisers, a lot of companies are trying to sell their product based on demographic segmentation. Very often, I have a task that is described like this on the slide. Please, can you target females of a particular age, of living in not in rural but in urban areas, that are good looking, that are influencers, that are this or that. And all of that are actually demographic descriptions of the customer, because such customers were already buying at the shop, at the store, and the advertiser think that this is the best population for him. I'm not saying that this is not right. I'm just saying try to widen your perspective, because if you have such demographic segmentation, as a result, I will get. I show my client who is the person that he was asking me to advertise to, and I show him these are the persons you are targeting. And then he says me, no, you have misunderstood me. But these two completely different personas are actually described in the task of an advertiser who should be segmented. Females of a age range, of living in an area, and so on. And this is a problem then, because I cannot approach these very different people with the same message, and you're selling them something that is your product. You don't have millions of products. You have a restricted number of offerings. So it's very good complies with Google researches. Google has made a lot of researches about demographic segmentation of the customer. And what was very interesting during the research was that about 40% of products for babies were purchased by people that live in households without children. And when you think a little bit more about it, why would somebody buy something for babies and doesn't have even children at home? Well, it's maybe because it's the grandfather or the grandmother or the sister-in-law or the neighbor or the colleague at work. The other day, one of our colleagues gave birth to a baby. We have about 15 girls in the company. One had a baby and 14 of them don't have children, but still we're looking for products to buy a gift for this baby. So you should not think about your customer, you should think about your potential of selling, and selling to somebody is completely irrelevant comparing the demographic segments that the person is in. If it's a grandfather, okay. I don't care if it's the mother or if it's the grandmother who will buy the product that I'm offering for babies. And even worse is the situation for mobile users. According to Google's results, about 70% of all sales will be missed if you, on mobile devices if you are segment your advertising messages to people based on demographic characteristics of the buyer. It's actually something where you can lose the race on the market. You should be aware that demographic characteristics are not the main segment that you should try to approach. Try to think a little bit out of the restrictions made by demographic segmentation. Another interesting thing is that 40% of people 40% of sales, 40% of sales was generated when there was not only demographic but also intent signals used. So maybe I'm a male. Or I am a male, never mind. Maybe I'm a male looking for a car, but that doesn't mean that my wife also doesn't look for a car, or my brother that already has a car, maybe purchased a car 2 weeks ago, but he's now again searching for a car for me now. So you should be always aware that with demographics should always be combined some intention signals. Intention is very important because you should not care who is your customer, you should care who is the person very near the purchase, to ending the purchase process. And that's the much better approach. It can double your sales sometimes. I mentioned before that the average United States marketeer use 13 channels to show their ads. There is a nice research that has proven that if you use more than one channel, you have a synergy. You have more sales, even with the same budget. If you use more than one channel, if you use one channel, you have the opportunity to show only people on that channel. But if you go to 2, 3, or more channels, there is a synergy. That is about 20 or more %. So you will sell more if you use more than one channel for advertising your products or services. Also very, very important because a lot of especially small businesses think that's enough to have a Facebook page and that should do all the advertising necessary. Something that is very, very underused is YouTube still. YouTube is here since 2004. It's a very interesting process that is going on. Forrester made a research and the result was that by 2025, about half of the United States people under the age of 32 will not have a cable TV. They will consume all the information, all the entertainment, everything they want. They will consume it on some online video platform. YouTube is at the moment the most used, but there are others also in the race. So I am in favor of YouTube because the most people today are on YouTube, but it doesn't mean you should only plan activities on YouTube. There are a lot of other good video channels, and especially specialized channels. So sometimes you have channels dedicated only to do-it-yourselfers. Maybe if you're selling some tools, it's much better to go there than to be on some general channel. Never mind. It's not a recommendation to go to YouTube. It's a recommendation to try to embrace video messages in your advertising package, because video messages are very interesting, especially for tourism and especially for all the visual products. For example, a visual product is how to prepare my makeup for Friday night. That's a visual product. I have to see it, and then I will buy or purchase your products to look like you have shown me on this video. Another very, very important thing is people usually over-expand their geo targeting. When especially this happens with people in the yacht charter business. People in the yacht charter business want to advertise in all UK. It's pointless to advertise in all UK because some people from UK will already are using sailing boats, and they don't plan to come to Croatia or to the Adriatic. It's not even all the people in London. If you take the area of London TV region, people that are watching TV programs that are based in London, it's about 30 million people. And 30 million people is very expensive to approach with your advertising campaign. It's much better to approach maybe only the people in the outskirts of London. And that was our findings, that people living in the outskirts of London have a much higher conversion rate. I need much less money to approach a buyer that lives in the outskirts of London than somebody who is living in London. There could be several reasons. I will not try to analyze that now, but just test it. Try. UK is too big. London is too big. Put some restrictions to your geo-targeting. You cannot have a successful campaign with 100 euros daily and showing your ads in Russia, Scandinavia, UK, Germany, France, and Italy. That's 500 million people. You cannot approach 500 million people with 100 euros. Try to restrict and restrain your appetite. Sometimes it's nice, like I showed here. Here, as you can see, here's a small red area. Maybe your competition has the address in an area, and you don't want that they see that you're advertising, so you just put a small area as the area excluded from your advertising campaign. In this example was excluded a big food company in Croatia by another big food company, that they didn't want that their competition became aware of their advertising efforts. And sometimes it's very important to use machines. They made a research, you can find it here. A computer can more accurately predict your personality by checking only 10 likes on Facebook. A computer checked 10 likes you made, and he knows more about you than your colleague, your working colleague. Based on 70 likes, the computer can better profile you than your roommate, not somebody you're living with or your friend. With 150 likes, the computer can profile you better than your mother or brother. And based on 300 likes, better than your spouse, than your partner. And the problem is here that we are leaving traces all over the internet. And somebody who is following these traces can very accurately stitch them together and profile us as a person. And then send us the messages that are most appropriate for us, depending on the buying stage we are at the moment. Also, we can define, for example, so-called custom intent audiences. I can tell Google, this is a Google example, but it's similar in Facebook. I can tell Google, if somebody has been on a competitioner's website, but not on the website in general, but only in that part of the competitioner's website where things that I offer are offered, only these people should be included in my audience, and only these people should see my ad. And because of that, I restrict the possibility to show my ads to everyone, but show only to the people that are most interesting in my offering. And of course, that results with an more efficient campaign. You should also try to understand the mindset of your buyer. It's in Croatian. I will translate it. Where can I operate veins? In which hospital can I operate veins covered with the national health security? The question is quite simple, but a few days after I saw this, I cannot be sure that it's the same person, but by the construction of the sentence, I think it's the same person. Do I have a right to get some compensation, some reparation, because my grandmother died because she couldn't wait long enough to get the operation of veins in a state-owned hospital on the expense of state-owned health insurance? And then you see that actually the searcher was not the consumer, it was searching for somebody else, and then he was asking, is there any chance to get some restitution? And just to show you an ending example, you can use also these advertising platforms for analyzing the market. So there was a client of us. He asked us, "Is anybody in UK searching for respite care?" We started the campaign. We saw the context, we saw the location where people are searching for, the price of the click, the daily and weekly frequency of searching. We saw who is our competition, and we saw what are the synonyms that people use for the same word. Respite care or safe care at home is actually a synonym. And we find it out in 2 weeks for less than 30 euros. How? The keyword respite care triggered an ad that was written in Serbian Cyrillics. Nobody in UK dares to click on something that is written in Cyrillics because it's some Russian hackers for sure. And don't click on that ad. And I didn't want them to click because every click I got, I have to pay. I didn't want them to click. I just wanted to get all the context, the data that I need, the search terms, the daily frequency, to make a good marketing plan for my client. And from my experience in UK, in Germany, in Scandinavia, people rarely click on ads written on Cyrillic, with Cyrillic letters. And we have tested numerous times with terms that means nothing. Žuta žipka means something yellow in Croatian. It doesn't have any meaning. But we have this banner where we offered people, please Google what is žuta žipka. And the only landing page in the world at that time was our landing page, where it told people, thank you for participating in our experiment. Come back soon to see the results. And we had a lot of subscribers after that test. And then you can find the results on that link because people are started to Google Žuta žipka because somebody was tackling with their curiosity. And they want to know what is Žuta žipka. Now they want to know. They never thought about it before. The same thing can be done with Google Consumer Survey. It is Google's option where you get you come to a portal and you get a questionnaire. Every question is about 10 cents. So if you answer the question yes or no, either answer is paid by the researcher or the starter of the survey 10 cents. And we asked people, did you know that on the island Mali Lošinj in Croatia nobody has bronchitis? What happened? People started to search for Mali Lošinj bronchitis. That was not used before. And we are the only advertiser using this search term. The answers were interesting. Very interesting. About 12% of German people did know about Mali Lošinj, but what was much more interesting, during February, when there is a high demand of bronchitis in Germany, in Mali Lošinj, all the hotels that offer accommodation had a significantly higher number of inquiries. Are you free during February? Can we come and whatever? And it's based on Google Trends data. If you check Google Trends, you will see that bronchitis is the most searched term in February the last 17 years in a row. So probably it will be also the 18th year. And hereby I thank you for your attention. I hope it was interesting. I have another slot, advanced Google Ads things, and I hope to see you there. Bye.